Welcome to Fire Fridays. Listen, the technology was struggling today on this Friday, February 6th, the first Friday of the month. But we're here. So hopefully you still can join me live. But if not, you can always catch the replay. It will be on my YouTube channel, Speak Like Transformation TV. So if you're with me on LinkedIn, what's up? How are you? Hope your day is going well. And if you're joining me on YouTube, hey, what is up? Either way, if you're watching me on YouTube or if you're watching me on LinkedIn, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can catch the shorts, which are quick videos where I give some tips, where you can know when I go live, especially in moments like this where I had to have an improvisation going on and I'm popping on later than scheduled. And when you subscribe, hit the notification buttons, moments like this is when you will get notified to let you know, like, hey, Natasha actually is still going live, still join her. So yes, subscribe, hit the notification button. Also make sure you hit the like button, any videos that really are connecting with you, that resonate with you, and comment. I love to hear your feedback on how that video or the different videos have been for you, your experience. So today, we are starting the month off with now moving from the foundation. So Fire Fridays in January, we're all about just really uncovering the foundation of what is the cause of the stall, the stuck that you feel, or the procrastination or the hesitation that occurs when it's time to execute. So we did a lot of work when it talks about understanding what that is. What are those mindset blocks like? Pleasing, proving, and perfecting. What are those habits, those sabotaging habits that occur, and different tips on how to work through all that, how to understand the identity gap, how to understand the execution gap, all that foundation. So check those videos out. If you have not seen any of those, make sure you go to the Speak Like Transformation TV YouTube channel to check out those videos to understand the why behind the behavior, because that's the first step, is understanding the why. Now we're going to start moving into the how. How do I now move forward, right? What do I do that can help me really execute using those new habits and using those new thought patterns, right? And not allowing the old habits and the old thought patterns to get in the way. And that's what today is all about. I'm going to share with you my 3S model. And this 3S model I created as a way to really apply the concepts in a very simple and practical way. I have my FIRE framework. I talked to you guys about that in the previous FIRE Fridays. And now this 3S model really helps you learn how to execute the concepts we talked about in FIRE, and also the concepts we talked about in the self model framework as well. So I'm excited to get into our conversation today. So when we're talking about the execution, a lot of things I've been saying, especially in my other shorts as well, is really helping you understand that if you're feeling stuck, it's not because you're lazy. It's not because you lack discipline. It's not because you lack motivation. I keep saying that because I really want you to understand that that's not the problem. And that also is what leads to shame. It leads to critical self-talk when you feel like you are lacking the desire, the motivation, and the discipline, right? And not only does it lead to the critical self-talk, but then it also leads to this narrative that you need to be fixed. There's something broken about you and you need to be fixed. And once you fix that thing, then you will be fine to be able to execute. And a lot of times that thing is, I need to do more. I need to get more certifications. I need to get more trainings. I need to get more planners and more tools and all these things. And then that's when I will execute finally. The analogy I often give to show that that's not the answer a lot of times is when, especially this time of the year, right? This is the big top of the year where everybody is really focusing on engaging in a healthy lifestyle, maybe losing some weight, right? Engaging in some healthy patterns when it comes to exercise. And so you may have bought a workout plan. You may have bought the membership to a gym. You may have even purchased some workout equipment, right? And then months later, that workout equipment ends up being storage or a shelf for something else, right? Other things start being piled on top of it, or that subscription you bought for the membership of whatever workout plan that you have is just being charged but not being used, right? And nothing is really happening. You can easily start to think like, oh, it's because I'm not motivated. It's like, no, you were motivated. You want this. It's not that you don't want it. It's just there's this gap, this execution gap that's causing you to not be able to move forward. There's mindset blocks and those habits. And this is what I mean by that, right? Because we talked about a lot about identity. The execution, what breaks it down is the identity, right? It's understanding internally who you are. Do you believe in that person? Do you trust in that person? Do you even know who that person is authentically? Do you even know who you need to be in order to actually execute? Or are you still showing up as an old version that's not the version that is needed and necessary to be able to execute, right? There's this other part of clarity. Do you even have clarity of why that's even important to you? You bought the equipment. Now, why? Why do you even want to lose the weight? Why do you even want to get healthy? What's the real reason? And is it really based on what you truly want authentically? Or is it based on what society says what you should be wanting and what you should be doing? Right? So it's that clarity. It's also the systems. Do you have systems in place to actually follow through? Do you have systems in place that will prevent you from getting distracted or derailed? Right? These are all important things. So again, it's not about becoming more motivated. It's not about being more disciplined. It's about understanding your identity. It's about understanding your clarity, having the clarity. And it's also about having the systems. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So one of the things, and it comes at an execution gap. I just want to do a quick recap because we did talk about that previous Fire Friday and the one before that. But these are some things that can lead to struggling with following through, especially high achieving women. This is what can lead to struggling with following through and getting stuck. And then instead you find yourself procrastinating and you find yourself hesitating. One is you end up overthinking instead of deciding. There's no follow through because you are trying to make the perfect decision. You're overthinking the whole process. You're making it way more complicated than it really needs to be. And as a result of that complication, it feels more overwhelming. And then the overwhelm causes you to feel like, oh, I don't even want to do this no more. Or it causes a fear of failing or not being good enough or not doing enough. And then so there becomes no decision at all. And then you just stay stuck in the same place you're in and more confused on what to do because you're doing too much overthinking. Another thing that causes that execution gap is doing everything yourself. You're not seeking help. You're not accepting help. You're not utilizing the resources around you, whether it's people in your life that are resources or things that are in your life that are resources. You are just trying to do it all on your own will. Therefore, making it harder than what it needs to be. Therefore, making it more complicated than it needs to be, which then can lead to the exhaustion, right? And then that exhaustion leads to burnout, and then you just don't even have the energy. And then it feels like you don't have the motivation either, right, to actually follow through. Final one, confusing busy with progress. That to-do list, if I check all these things off, then that shows that I'm on the right track. I got to check all these boxes off. Then that shows that I am being productive, right? I'm getting things done, right? But a lot of times it's just busy work. It's not good busy. If you're going to be busy, make it good busy. Meaning make it where you are doing things that actually align with the values that you have and the vision you have, and actually leads you to executing the goals you actually have, not just checking off boxes. So you can get the imaginary gold star that shows, oh, I know what I'm talking about. The imaginary gold star that shows, oh, I am productive. The imaginary gold star that shows, oh, I am someone who's responsible, reliable, who gets things done. All that is proving, go back to the the Fire Friday where I talked about pleasing, proving, and perfecting, because we're going deep about how to really dismantle this need to prove your worth and your value. And these are the things that cause an execution gap. And as you can see, it's delay, 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 and more delay. Yeah. And that's why the execution gaps get bigger and bigger. So let's talk about the 3S model and how the 3S model can close the gap so that you are now closer to executing instead of being further away from executing. The 3S model stands for, well, there's 3 S's, and the 3 S's are strategy, structure, and systems. That's the 3S model. All right. And so strategy is all about the what and the why, really, right? It's what are you doing? What is it that you need to do? Like, what is the actual action step that you need to take, right? What is the goal that you have? We talked about how it's important to make sure your vision and your goals align. Again, previous Fire Friday, check that out, where I went into detail about that. So when you're thinking about the why, you'll know the clarity we just talked about, right? Needing clarity that helps close the gap. You'll understand why this is important when your goals align with your values and your vision. The clarity becomes confusing and chaotic when they don't align. It just doesn't make sense. But when they align, you understand, okay, not only why I want this and why this is important to me, but now I also know what I need to do, right? It also gives you one clear priority, right? You don't need to focus on so many things at one time. Another reason why it can become overwhelming is you're doing too much. You're trying to accomplish too many things at one time. Just focus on one priority. And then when you focus on that priority, you can break it down to what structures you need to put in place and what systems need to put in place. And that's what we're going to talk about next. Structure is all about the how your life supports the goal. So this is like the habit. What is the habit? What is the action that you are going to engage in to actually achieve the goal, the structure that you put in place? So what is the thing that you're going to do? You now know what you need to do, right? You now know why that thing is even important, of why you need to do it in the first place, right? Now we're going to talk about how are we going to do this? What are the habits? How are you going to use your time? How are you going to use your energy, right, to actually execute it? What boundaries are you going to set in place to be able to do it? So here's an example. Let's just say the strategy is you want to have more stress-free mornings. So this is actually something I did with a client. She is often just reacting to life and putting out fires, and it's causing her to feel anxious throughout the day. But before she even leaves the house, she's already at a high state of overwhelm because she's just putting out fires, taking care of kids, getting her ready for school, getting ready for work, and just putting out fires and just feeling overwhelmed. So by the time she comes home, she's just burnt out, just wants to fall out, and not having any energy to really execute the way she wants to execute throughout her day. So after I said, well, what is strategy? What's the what? What is that you want? She's like, well, I want to be able to have more calm mornings. That's what I want. And I asked her, well, why? Why is that important? She's like, well, it's important to me because when I start my morning off right at a calm state, then I'm not snappy on my children, one, and two, I start my day off well where I enter my job not feeling snappy. And I feel more relaxed. I don't feel like I'm rushing, right? That's the why. So then we talked about the how, the strategy, the structure. How are we going to do that, right? What is a habit? We came up with two. One is waking up earlier so that she is not rushing, because before she would hit the snooze button and then she'll wake up with just the right amount of time to do everything she needs to do. But if there was any type of disruption, like something happened with her son, he like changed, she got him dressed and then he pooped all over his clothes and now she has to like change them all over again, right? For example. And that totally threw her off. And she didn't have time for that because she literally just gave herself enough time to do everything that needs to be done in this time frame with no open space or wiggle room for any type of adjustments that need to be made. So that was one, starting off early. And then also the reason to start a day off, to wake up earlier, was also to help her then include some type of mindfulness exercise before she then takes on the mom role. And we talked about stretching. She feels like stretching is something that really helps her with her body, etc. So we talked about waking up earlier. We identified a specific time, and then we talked about using that extra time, right, to stretch in the morning to be able to calm her mind, calm her body, and then also to be able to have more time in her day if there's any type of in the morning if she needs to do any flexibility or adapting to any changes in the morning. That's the how. I mean, that's the structure, the habits. Now let's talk about the systems. The systems is also a how, but it's also talking about how you're going to make sure you follow through on this, right? How is this going to run, right? How is it going to really occur? And so another way to think about it is accountability. What are you going to do to help you hold yourself accountable so you can actually follow through? So with her, one of the things we talked about was one, setting the alarm with a snooze button, with a snooze time, including a snooze, but including it. We first talked about 10 minutes so that she can give herself time to wake up. The first alarm is just like a reminder, like, hey, you got to get out of bed in 10 minutes. So she's able to hit the snooze button. And then the next 10 minutes, when the alarm goes off, she knows, okay, this is my time to wake up. We even talked about having maybe 15 minutes, right? So that if she needs to hit the snooze button twice, it's like waking her body up and she knows this final time I need to get up, right? So that's an example of accountability. Another example of accountability could also be a person. So for her, an example of that, we didn't decide this, but an example of that would be her partner, where maybe her partner calls and says, hey, just want to check in. Did you get up? How's the morning going? Right? And so you can have somebody who could be an accountability partner as well. But this is all about the systems, right? This is having something in place to help you follow through on the routine, having you follow through on, the decisions that you're making. If it is having certain templates or resources, like an alarm clock, right? Or other systems that will, or tools, organizational tools, for example, that will help you hold yourself accountable. Because this is the thing. I tell clients this all the time, especially when it comes to changing habits and changing our mindset. For you to just expect yourself to have the willpower just to do it, this new thing, is not being fair to yourself. And this is why. It's a new habit. It's not something that you're used to doing. It's not something that's automatic. And so you're going to need some support to start to get in the habit, starting to get in a routine, starting to get in the flow of using this new, engaging in these new habits, engaging in these new systems and this new structure. And so the systems part is so important because those systems will help give you the prompts that you need. The systems will help give you the support that you need to start getting in the flow and the routine of exercising these new habits. Because even the habits you have right now, you didn't get them off of just willpower. It didn't become automatic where you could just do it without even thinking out of willpower. No, you got to that stage after you've done it over and over and over again. That's why it became routine. That's why it became something that just becomes automatic and you don't even have to think about it. So be kind to yourself. Take away any pride that's saying, well, I should just be able to do this. I shouldn't need any help. No, this is new. So provide yourself with the resources that you need and the systems that you need that's going to help you to be able to follow through on those systems. So here's my question to you. Which S, so whether it's strategy, systems, or structure, is weakest for you right now? What's the one that you struggle with most? Which one do you feel like is the most challenging to follow through on? Is it identifying what it is that you need and want? Is it identifying the habits, right? Or is it identifying the structures that will help you follow through on those habits? Which one? Think about that. And the reason why you need to know this is so that you know where your baseline is. Where do you need to start? And also, you can be realistic with your expectations about you executing this system. So we talked about the 3S model and how you can use this to help with your execution, how you can make this, it breaks it down in 3 different ways, a 3-step process to really help you with the execution. And if you want more, if you want to be able to receive some live coaching on how to do this, if you want to receive more practice and get like a better understanding and more details of how you can apply this to your life, your business, and your professional life, then you need to join Identity to Execution Intensive. This intensive is a 2-hour intensive that's happening on February the 23rd at 7 p.m. virtually Eastern Standard Time, where I am breaking this all down. The 3S model is being broken down step by step on how to really apply this. There's worksheets that's going to be part of the intensive. So you're just going to be practical exercises that you're going to be doing in the moment to help you understand and apply the principles. And I'm also even going to be having hot seat sessions where if you want to receive live in the moment coaching, you can volunteer to present your specific case, your specific situation, and I can walk you through during the intensive. I can walk you through how to apply the 3S model to your specific situation. So if this sounds like, girl, I need all that. If you're thinking like, this is for me, this is where you need to go. Go to speakliketransformation.com. Make sure you can click the banner. As soon as you go on speakliketransformation.com, you can click the banner. The banner will take you right to the registration page. You can also do speakliketransformation.com/intensive. It'll take you directly to the page and register, and also share the link with other women that you know need this, that could benefit from this, because this is going to be that live coaching, that direct practice is not going to be just me talking to you about the thing and giving you all this, giving you ideas. No, we're going to be doing the work. That's why it's called the intensive, because we're going to be doing the work during the session. So check that out. Make sure you register, share with others. If this was something that you enjoyed this Fire Friday, make sure you subscribe to the Speak Like Transformation YouTube channel. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification button. All of these things are important so you can be able to be connected when I go live again next week. So glad I was able to redo this and be able to get back on. And hopefully next week we won't have any tech issues. But if we do, we'll just listen. That's why you got bob and weave. Just go with the flow. But I'm excited to see you next week.